Boxing Truth here. Now that the announcement is said and done and I had time to reflect and consume this announcement, when it was first announced that Canelo would be fighting Khan, I was actually more intrigued by how the fight was made than the actual fight. If you watch my video about it, I was talking about how the fight got done according to many reports. I was more interested in how the fight got done. That was more fascinating to me than the actual fight, because the actual fight to me is a physical mismatch. I know who's going to win. It's already set in stone. And now I have to talk about the choice of Canelo's opponent in Amir Khan and how it makes him look. It makes him look like the ultimate cherry picker. I mean, it's considered a huge cherry pick. And I'm no fan of Canelo Alvarez. I mean, I used to be when he was coming up. Yeah, I knew he was protected by Golden Boy from the jump. He was gifted a belt at 54, fighting Matthew Hatton, who I don't even think he competed that weight. It was a joke, his rise to the ranks at 154. It wasn't until he fought Trout that he started taking on some tough challenges. Barely got past that assignment. Barely got past that test. He did win the fight, but it wasn't a good performance. The fight was a little too tight. The knockdown might have been the difference. And he disappointed me. He disappointed me greatly against Floyd. It was a flat performance. Disappointed all his fans. It was a terrible performance. I expected a lot more from Canelo against Floyd. There's a big rumor about what really went down that night, but I'm not going to get into it. It's in the past anyways, but if that really went down, then that's some bullshit. But anyways, Floyd won the fight. And I got off the Canelo bandwagon after that fight, and I was just so disappointed in his performance. And now I just can't be a fan of the guy right now. Add to this cherry pick of Amir Khan, because a lot of reasons. He's maintaining this firm stance on this 155 bullshit as the middleweight champion, trying to create his own division, Canelo weight. He's refusing to fight Golovkin. He's still maintaining that 155 stance that Golovkin will have to calm down and wait, even though he's pretty much in middleweight right now. What's funny is that Amir Khan negotiated for a 154-pound weight for this fight, and Canelo turned it down. He said no, he wanted it at 155. To me, that just tells me he's not a junior middleweight no more. He's a full-fledged middleweight, and he is. He's a middleweight. The guy comes in the mid 170s, probably high 170s. He's a big guy. He's a middleweight. There's no denying it. He's just, I just can't be a fan of the actions he's putting, with this catch weight bullshit and this 155 crap. Telling other middleweights, if you want to fight me, it has to be 155. I mean, what kind of shit is that? I mean, are you a middleweight or not? It's just not something I can support. It's just, of course, Canelo fanboys will defend him to the death. That's fine. That's your man. That's your boy. But I'm going in on Canelo. Very disappointed in his behavior ever since he won the middleweight crown. I just wish he'd give up that belt. They just vacate the title. I mean, why are you fighting at 155? You don't want to fight Golovkin, so you request the WBC for an interim fight, a voluntary defense. Of course, the WBC is going to bend over for you because you're the cash cow now, and you make the money, and the WBC goes where the money goes. But instead of giving the fans a slim hope that you're going to fight Golovkin in September by fighting a true middleweight, what do? You pick on a welterweight. You choose a welterweight to fight, and not even the best one at that. You chose a welterweight that has done jack shit in the division. The dude has no credible wins in the division. What's Amir Khan's marquee win at 147 pounds? He's done jack shit in the division. Didn't even win a title. Didn't defend any titles. Was inactive for most part. Almost got knocked out by Julio Diaz. Got rocked by Chris Algieri. And now he's going to move up without even competing at 54, even beating an elite fighter at 147 to fight Canelo at Canelo weight for the WBC middleweight title. And it's on pay-per-view nonetheless, so definitely not buying that shit. Definitely not buying that fight. My cousin's an Amir Khan fanboy, so if he buys it, I'll watch it for free, but I ain't buying that shit. No way. I'll stream it, if anything. But it's just disappointing. I mean, that Canelo's doing this. I understand why the fight's happening. It'll do some numbers. It will. It'll do some business. But in my opinion, that fight doesn't do 1 million buys. That's just my opinion. I don't think it does even close. It doesn't even do Canelo Cotto numbers. And that's because it's Amir Khan's first fight at pay-per-view in the States. He's not... Cotto is a bigger star in the States. He's been on pay-per-view way more times. He's had big numbers against, when he was the B-side, but he's also did numbers on his own. This besides the Matavia fight. That fight lost money. But, of course, Canelo could have fought anyone in the middleweight division. A solid middleweight like Sebastian Hyland or David Lemieux if Golden Boy wanted to go that route. Just give some hope that you're going to fight this guy. But whatever hope I had that Canelo was going to fight Golovkin this year just went out the window when he announced Amir Khan as his next opponent. Hell no, you ain't fighting Golovkin in September if you're going to fight Amir Khan, a welterweight moving up. How's Amir Khan going to get you ready for Golovkin? And the WBC, they shouldn't sanction this fight. They really shouldn't. Amir Khan doesn't deserve a shot at the middleweight title. But of course they will sanction it because Canelo brings the money. The sanctioning fee is just too much for WBC to turn down. So no, they're not going to turn down that fight. There's a lot of mixed reactions of the fight. There's people that are disappointed. There are people that are offended by this matchup. I can't blame them. I'm a little offended by it. There are people that are excited, but it's a physical mismatch. It's a glorified showcase for Canelo. And even some fighters took to social media to trash Canelo. 2 fighters in particular that really shouldn't be talking because they have their own issues. Chavez Jr. trashed Canelo for his choice of opponent. Pretty much called him a cherry picker, picking on smaller guys. That's funny because Chavez can't really say nothing because he made a career out of fighting smaller guys. He was able to squeeze down at middleweight at 160 and outweigh his opponents by up to 10 to 15 pounds. And then when he finally fought a guy his size in Fanfara, look what happened. He quit, got his ass whooped. So he made a career out of fighting smaller guys. Picked on smaller guys. He made Brian Vera move up to super middleweight to fight him. So he really can't say much about that. Mikey Garcia also shitting on Canelo. But bro, Mikey, you got to worry about your own career, man. You haven't fought in 2 years. You lost millions of dollars for not fighting. And, according to rumors, you wanted to sign with Heyman. And now I'm hearing Heyman don't give a shit no more. So it looks like you're gonna be forced to go back to Bob and kiss his ass. So he has to worry about his own career, man. And Canelo, just can't be a fan of him right now. Probably never again. It's just a slap in the face to real boxing fans who were looking forward to him fighting Golovkin this year. He might surprise us and say he will fight Golovkin, but it's really up to Oscar if Oscar wants that fight. And, according by their actions, they don't. I mean, I'm not saying Canelo had to fight Golovkin next. If he needed an interim fight at middleweight, just to get accumulated to the division, fighting at the full 160, fighting a true middleweight, I would have supported that. I would have said, that's the smart move. You can't just fight the best guy in the division coming off your first, in your first defense. That's why I can't be mad at Billy Joe Sanders for turning Golovkin down. Why should he fight a monster for his first defense? Get some defenses in, get a defense or two in against top opposition in the middleweight division, then they're gonna go after Golovkin. It's a money fight. But Canelo went the opposite route and cherry picked a welterweight. This is Boxing Truth. I'm out.